another edition of The Russell Show. My name is Russell Brooks. Now, in tonight's episode, I'm very happy and very excited to be hosting fellow Canadian and romance suspense novelist Cherish the author of Lancelots Lady, and this is in an effort to help her with her Cherish the Romance blog tour, which is going on from September 27th to October 10th, 2010. Now, what's a blog tour, you may ask? Well, basically a blog tour is the same thing as when celebrities, when they visit from one city to the next, and they visit a radio station or TV stations in each city they visit in order to promote the events that they're taking part of. Well, same thing with authors. When authors promote their books, they visit one person's blog to the next. And book blogs, to be more specific in this case right here. Now, just to give you a little bit of background on the excerpt I'm going to recite from Lancelot's Lady, this story is set in Florida and the Bahamas. Lancelot's Lady is actually an award-winning contemporary romantic suspense that placed in the semifinals of Dorchester Publishing's Next Bestseller Contest. Oh yeah, it also won an Editor Choice Award from Text Novel. Now, just to give you a little bit of description of the story. When palliative care nurse Rihanna McLeod is given a gift of a dream holiday to the Bahamas from her dying patient billionaire J.T. Lance, Rihanna has no idea that her holiday will include being stranded on a private island with Jonathan, an irritating but irresistibly handsome recluse. Or that she'll even fall head over heels for that man. Now, Jonathan isn't happy to discover that a drop-dead gorgeous redhead has invaded his island, but his anger soon turns to attraction. After one failed marriage, he has guarded his heart, but Rihanna's sudden appearance makes him yearn to throw caution to the wind. So, to live fully in the present, Rihanna must resolve her own murky past, unravel the secret that haunts JT, foil the plans of a sleazy, blackmailing private investigator, and help Jonathan find his muse. Only then can Rihanna find the love she's been searching for, and finally become Lancelot's Lady. Now, here's the setup. In the following scene I'm going to recite to you, Rihanna and Jonathan have had an argument, and Rihanna has taken off into the trees that surround Jonathan's island home. She stumbles across a beautiful, natural-looking pool with a small waterfall and decides to take a dip to cool down. Little does she know, Jonathan has followed her. So, here it is, Lancelot's Lady, a small excerpt. Jonathan flung her dress over the nearest tree branch, then began unbuttoning his shirt. What are you doing? She squeaked. What does it look like I'm doing? He slid off his shirt and added it to the branch. Then he eyed her. If you won't come out, then I'm going to come in and get you. Moonlight gleamed off of Jonathan's tanned, smooth skin and the muscles that rippled as he moved. When his hands hovered near the zipper of his jeans, she gasped. What's it going to be? He asked softly. Rihanna swallowed hard. If she went to him, he'd see her near nakedness. A wet bra and panties left nothing to the imagination, even in the moonlight. But if he comes in after me... She didn't want to think about what could happen. In fact, she'd given anything to wake up and find that this was all nothing but a horrible nightmare. Hold my dress out and turn around, she demanded. He laughed at the sound, and it carried into the night. In a low voice he said, You come out, or I come in. Rihanna's cheeks burned with humiliation. Since you leave me no choice, you insufferable! She bit off the last nist of name she yearned to call him. The man was, after all, someone she had to deal with every day. At least until the radio is fixed or Roland comes back. Crossing her arms, she waded towards the edge of the pool, the waterline dipping below each step until it came at her belly button. Jonathan watched her every move. His gaze was so intense that it rattled her. Can you please look away? Embarrassed, she choked on the words, and tears welled in her eyes. Something in Rihanna's voice told Jonathan he'd gone far enough. He'd intended to embarrass her a bit, not bring the woman to tears. One part of him felt guilty for goading her. The other felt tremendous pleasure in watching the city girl squirm. "Please!" she whispered. She looked as though she might faint. Heaving an irritated sigh, he grabbed the dress from the branch, held it out, and averted his face. "There!" Satisfied. The soft splash of water was the only reply. He felt a cool, damp hand brush his as she took the dress. He glanced sideways, unable to resist a peek. His breath stopped. Damn, it's been too long. The natural curves of Rihanna's body and the movements she made as she struggled to pull the dress over her head drew a physical response from him, one he hadn't felt in months. Oh, he wanted her. Of that there was no question. The dress clung to her, absorbing the wetness of her skin, and she fought to smooth the fabric. "Let me help you," he offered. "No!" She caught his gaze and spun around. "Stop watching me!" "But you need some—" "Don't touch me!" She shrieked. "You know, you didn't have to follow me out here, or sneak up on me, and I certainly don't need you to... She felt she let out a strangled huff. "I made enough noise on that path for 3 people, he snapped, standing with his back to her. "And if you hadn't stormed outside, I wouldn't have felt obligated to go after you." Hell, he wasn't going to defend his intention to some woman. It was his damn island, after all. He could go wherever the hell he pleased. He made the mistake of glancing over his shoulders at the same time Rihanna leaned forward to shimmy the dress over her hips. Jonathan swallowed a lump in his throat. "Just make sure you don't..." He didn't have time to complete the warning. A shriek echoed through the night. 1 minute, Rihanna was standing an arm's length away from Jonathan. The next, she was sitting on the ground, covered in mud. She wiped her mouth on her arm, wanting nothing else but to have a good cry. She deserved one after tonight. She glared at Jonathan. The corners of his mouth jerked in small spasms. The bastard was laughing at her. "Don't even think about it," she warned. "It's not funny." A grin spread across his face. "Actually, it kind of is." "Oh, you bastard!" "Possibly," he shrugged. "I'm sorry." "Yeah, right. Sure you are." Rihanna couldn't take her eyes off him. Moonlight filtered through the trees, emphasizing the hardness of his body and the tension in his face. As his eyes drifted from hers down to the mud smeared on her thighs, an unfamiliar ache snaked through her body, weaving its way downwards. It was as if he stripped away her last remnants of clothing with his thoughts, leaving her naked and trembling. She shivered. "Come on, city girl," he muttered, breaking the spell. "Only animals roll around in the mud. You look, well, how could I put it politely? You look like hell. And you need a bath." She could not believe his audacity. A wicked idea formed in her mind. "You know, you're right," she said, holding out her hand. And Jonathan leaned down, and before he could guess what she had in mind, Rihanna clasped his hand and gave it a quick, hard thug. He landed on his stomach, sliding past her in the mud. Rihanna snorted. "Didn't you only say that animals roll around in the mud? Who needs a bath now?" Jonathan raised his head slowly, and she saw the warning in his narrowed eyes. It told her one thing. Run! And there you have it, everyone. Lancelot's Lady by Cherish D'Angelo. Now, Lancelot's Lady is available in ebook edition via Amazon's Kindle bookstore, Kobo Books, Smashwords, and other ebook retailers. Now, don't forget, Cherish D'Angelo is holding the biggest online book tour ever from September 27th to October 10th with over 115 blog stops, free ebooks to everyone who leaves a comment and other great prizes, including the grand prize of a Kobo e-reader. So visit www.cherishdangelo.com for more information. So thanks for tuning in, everyone. Visit the website, follow the blog tour. Take care of yourselves.